All right, this lesson's on subtracting linear expressions with two terms, and I'm going to just remind you that whenever we are subtracting, we're thinking of this leave, change, change. Now, the only difference is we are subtracting expressions, so I'm going to add the words leave, change, change it all for subtraction. And let me show you what I mean by that. The first couple examples only have two terms, so this is going to just be leave, change, change. So I'm going to leave the first term 5x. I'm going to change that to a plus sign and change the last term to its opposite, which would be negative 4x. Now, if I'm adding 5x and negative 4x, they are like terms, so they are both the same. 5 plus negative 4 is 1, and you keep the x with it. Now, 1x is the same thing as x, which is what they have there. Now you can see I did number 2 for you again. So 5y, leave, change subtraction to addition, change 8 to negative 8. And now when I add 5 plus negative 8, I get negative 3. So that's just simple subtraction. You can also do this in the calculator. This would be 3 minus 1. Don't forget, let's not make it a plus sign. 3 minus 1, because there's always a 1 in front of just a variable. You can just throw that in the calculator. I'm going to have you try those examples on your own. Go ahead, check your answers as you go. I do want to talk a little bit about subtracting linear expressions with more than two terms. This is where that leave, change, change it all comes in. We are going to leave the whole first expression. So in this first example, this is the whole first expression. We're going to leave that exactly how it is. Then we're going to change this subtraction to an addition. And then everything in the second parentheses is going to go to its opposite. So this 2 becomes negative 2. This negative 2 becomes positive 2. So leave, change, change it all. Now you're going to start combining your like terms. So 6x is like negative 2x. Notice 6x, negative 2x. Both have an x, so I put those together. And then I'm going to do the plus 3 and the plus 2. Those are both numbers that are no variables, so those go together. So I have my orange circles, I have my pink squares. I can add those together. So I have 6 plus negative 2, that's my 4x. Then I have my 3 plus 2, that's my plus 5. That's a positive 5. Now, I can't combine those any further because x and no x are not like terms. So that is my answer, 4x plus 5. Now, I'm going to do that again. Okay, so let's go to number 2. We're going to leave this whole first one as is. So 2x minus 3. We're going to change this to a plus sign, so leave, change, and then we're going to change it all. So that's going to become negative x plus 2. So I changed the x to negative x. I changed the minus 2 to plus 2. Now I'm going to do my like terms. So I'm going to circle all of my x's, and I'm going to put them next to each other. So 2x and plus negative 1x. I'm going to put that 1 right, or that 1 in front of that x. All right, now I'm going to do the negative 3 and the positive 2. Those are just numbers, so I'm going to put those together. All right, so now I'm going to add my like terms. So 2 plus negative 1, that's going to be just 1x, or you could just write x. Then I have negative 3 plus 2, that's a negative 1. You can write negative 1 as minus 1. That's the same thing. So here's my answer, 1x minus 1. All right, next example. Again, we're finding the difference. That means we're subtracting, and I see a lot of terms. So we're going to leave this whole first one as is. So 2x plus 3y minus 4, just leave it as is. We're going to change the minus sign to a plus sign. And then we're going to take this whole second one and change it to its opposite. So negative 5x minus 2. Negative 5 becomes negative 5, plus 2 becomes minus 2. All right, so I'm going to circle my 2x. I can also circle negative 5x. Those are like terms. So 2x and minus 5x. Those are my like terms. All right, I'm going to do plus 3y. Now, there's nothing like plus 3y. There's no other y, so that's just going to stay by itself. And then I have my minus 4, my minus 2. I'm going to put those in triangles. Those are the same because they both are just numbers, so they stay together. Okay, I'm going to add all of my like terms. So 2 plus negative 5, that's negative 3x. This is going to be plus 3y. And then negative 4 and negative 2 is negative 6. Here's my answer. Nothing in there is like terms, so we just leave it as that. And you can barely see. Let me make that a different color. This is my, let's make that a minus 6 so you can actually see it. All right, so number 4, last one. Find the result when 5m plus 2 is subtracted from 9m. Now, there's something special about that. When you see that subtracted from, that 9m has to go first. Then we're going to subtract 5m plus 2. Okay, so make sure you switch that order. All right, so we're going to do leave 9m. We're going to change this to plus. Leave, change. We're going to change everything on the inside of this. So this becomes negative 5m minus 2. All right, I'm going to combine my like terms. So 9m minus 5m. They're already next to each other, so I can just combine those. That's 4m. And then we have this minus 2 all by itself. When we can't combine anything, that actually is our answer. All right, go ahead. You can try the practice problems. Check your answers as you go.